Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your travel god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for video number 2 on your Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, March the 21st, 2025. Thank you for watching this particular video on the official Peter Joseph YouTube wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down below, hit the bell, turn on all notifications for more, follow me on social media, and all that good shit. And if you're brand new here, welcome to the party, pal. Grab yourself a cold one, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And if not, get out of here, go fuck yourself. Simple as that. Alright, no big intro, because I am pre-recording this. By the time you see this, I'm at Madison Square Garden in New York City, getting ready to see Disturbed. By the time you see this, I would have met Disturbed, but that's another story for another time. So, by the time you see this video, I will be at the Garden, rocking out with Disturbed, and the other opening bands, just chilling on a Friday night in New York City, and I don't have to prove shit to you, so it is what it is. Take it for what it's worth. And that's that. So that's that. So, I will be doing my SmackDown review later, probably later when I get home, or if depending on how I feel, tonight, or definitely tomorrow. Because I do have the day off tomorrow and Sunday, so I have time to recover from an epic night tonight, so we move on. Alright, let me quickly get this video out of the way. Check out my Raw review over on my Killer Demons channel. Link will be down below in the description box. Check it out on time, right now. That's that. Alright, but on this particular video, on your Friday afternoon, it is time for your late and out-of-date NXT review for this past Tuesday edition of NXT, March the 18th, 2025. We're back at home base, the Capitol Wrestling Center at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. And a little bit of a change because no Corey Graves. Obviously, he was on Raw. He's overseas with Michael Cole. So, back to the regularly scheduled programming and commentary team of the man with the creepy jacket and lots of candy for those kiddies. That's Vic Joseph. And the Kool-Aid man himself, the man who smokes more fucking weed than you do, and that's a fact. It's, oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Booker T, sucker. Alright, so we got that. Alright, this is the aftermath of a pretty damn good Roadblock event the week before that in New York City. So now we're on the road to Stand and Deliver, coming up in about a month from now. Alright, so the big one was Eddie Thorpe, or DJ Nightwolf, Dakota Kai's boyfriend, taking on Trick Willie! Shabon Trick Willie in NXT Underground. I think the fourth or fifth NXT Underground that's been in the new whatever era we're in the NXT era. Since NXT Underground became a thing, back, since they took it from the main roster, now it's on the NXT roster now. So we got that, and we're going to hear from Stephanie Furcor, the new double champion, the NXT Women's Champion, and still the North American Women's Champion. We got that. We're going to see Chelsea Green on the show, and a whole lot more. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Like I said, by the time you see this, I will be already rocking out with my cock out at Madison Square Garden. But it is what it is. Speaking of Chelsea Green, we saw for the long as fuck Roadblock recap with all those epic matches at the theater at Madison Square Garden. That's downstairs. With that, blah 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 blah. So we get that. Oba retains his title over Moose. The Hardys retained the TNA Tag Team titles over Fraxium. Roxanne Perez got beat up by Jordan Grace. And now, like I said, we're on the road to Stand and deliver. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, first match out of the gate for the Women's United States title. Our president of the women's division, the United States champion Chelsea Green, with her secretary of her fence, Piper Niven, and the sergeant at arms, Alba Fire. They're there, and Chelsea is defending the belt against the resident surfer girl, Sol Ruka, who came out with the big woman herself, Delta. Pretty good match, under 10 minutes. Well, not great match, but still decent match. For what it was, Piper and Alba get involved, so Delta gets involved. We're getting to the end. Chelsea gets caught on top, so manages a cartwheel DDT. You love that. Then a big flippy doo on the floor. Get back in. Chelsea has a code breaker. And she tries to finish off Sol Ruka, but Sol Ruka snatches her soul snatcher. Actually, when she doesn't hit it, she goes for it, and for once, it gets broken up by Chelsea, and Chelsea then hits the unpretty her. 1, 2, 3 to retain the Women's United States title. Obviously, that was going to happen, so. We got that. And we'll see what happens with her and her cabinet on SmackDown, which already has been taped. So, we got that. We'll see it at 8 o'clock on the USA Network. And Roman to be on the show, our tribal chief, Punk, that schmuck, and Seth Rollins. And that's pretty much it. I did... when I got home, I did listen to Issa's chat and everything. Watch SmackDown tonight for Charlotte Flair's epic burial of my girl Tiffy Tiff. Woo! Talk about verbal raping without lube. Woo! Tiffy Tiff, oh boy, I feel bad. Tiffy's in the corner, crying up a storm. That's you, Daddy! Ah! Ugh. I feel bad for Tiffy Tiff right now. Because Charlotte cut probably one of her best promos ever. And she laid into Tiffy Tiff. Woo! But watch SmackDown tonight. Trust me on that. I'll watch it later. The rest of it later. Anyway. Moving on. Alright. Mr. Bouncy himself, Mr. Tigger. Because bouncy, that's what Tiggers do best. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. So, Javon Evans suggests that he and Trick Willie form a little partnership. We're friends, we're partners, but Trick Willie's like, I don't want to hear that shit. And then Lexus King comes in, runs his mouth, and pretty much gets punched in the face. That guy can't just stay out of trouble there, Brian Pillman Jr., you can't get your face out of trouble. You always have to butt in. No pun intended, but. So, I think we got Javon Evans and Lexus King later on. We'll get to that later. We see the D'Angelo family. Hey, my cousin, Tony D'Angelo will get you a pizza for $2. Well, we see Stacks, the underboss, the very suspicious one, chanting Stacks Lorenzo, you bastard. He's there with the guy that lives downstairs from you. That's Luca Crucifino and the beautiful Adriana Rizzo. They're trying to get Tony D's title back since Sean Spears and company took it in the cage match a couple weeks ago. But Tony is staying in the back to watch as the rest of the team has an intergender six-man tag team match with the other members of the group. So we got the Resident Virgin, Brooks Jensen, Nico, and Brooke Hogan 2.0 Izzy Dame against Rizzo, Stacks, and Luca Cristofino. So we got that. Alright, moving on. Stephanie McCourt, the double champion, comes out. Says it's difficult for her because English is not her first language. We all know that's Spanish. But she is learning English. She says, wrestling is my first language. Proved that last week against one of her best friends. That's Julia. We won't probably see Julia till maybe Stand and Deliver. Maybe after that. Who knows? So she's ready for her first actual challenger. Who should that be? Well, out first comes Big Mama Pump, Jordan Grace, who tells Stephanie, you're a trailblazer, but I'm not the only one who won last week because I beat former champion Roxanne Perez. And then Jada Parker, the actual number one contender, comes out, jumps Jordan from behind, beats the fuck out of her. And then basically goes up to Stephanie and says, hey, the line starts behind me, bitch! And then she tells Stephanie that she should enjoy her time as double champ while she can, because she's coming for the title. Which one? I mean, be specific there, Jada. But I think we do get a little bit of, later on we do get some clarification, so Jada will face Stephanie next week for the NXT Women's Championship. But later on, Fallon Henley, who's been harassing Ava Raine to get a fucking North American title rematch, Ava finally caves in, and next week we got that match. So Stephanie's doing double duty next week, defending both titles. Will she retain both? I think she'll retain at least one. I don't know about the North American title, but we'll see what happens with that. And we move on. Then we had Hank and Tank taking on the Cowboys, Yoshiki Inamura, the great man from Japan, and Josh Briggs. Boring as fuck under 6-minute match. Inamura has a top rope big splash. 1, 2, 3. The Cowboys get the win over Hank and Spank. Nobody cared. We move on. Get that. DJ Nightwolf, Eddie Thorpe, comes into the locker room, talks to Rich Holland of all people. Because he has a match with Absolute Ricky Starks. Coming up later in Ricky's first official one-on-one singles match. So he talks to Rich Holland. The two of them talk about how no one accepts them no matter what the fuck they do. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we go to the 6-man tag team match between the D'Angelo family and Sean Spears' new group called The Culling. Not The Coming, not The Calling, it's The Culling. Culling. So we get that. Tony D was watching on from the back, and sadly, he had to see the family not get the job done. And, they hit the shadow machine. Then we cut to the back. Tony's all happy and everything. Then he gets attacked by Retribution, Deuces, and Jokers. Now they're called, what are they called now? Death Strike or Dark Strike, some shit like that. Dark State, I think it's Dark State, actually. So they attack Tony D, and the rest of the family look on like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And that distraction led Nico to give Stacks a reverse Death Valley driver. Ow. And they get the win in exactly 10.5 minutes. So now Dark State, which is now basically what Retribution is, or what this group is called now, basically still running amok. But now they actually have a name. It's called Dark State. Dark Slate, whatever. I think it's Dark State, some shit like that. Led by a good buddy, Cutler James, from LFG. So there you go. Alright, moving on. Alright, then we go to JC Jane, who is also on Impact, and she's getting a TNA Knockouts title match next week. Lucky her. But before she does that, she had a match with Carmen Petrovic, along with the resident pimp, and he's not a good one either, Ashanti the Adonis, the rest of Fatal Influence was at ringside, Fallon, Don't Call Me Don Henley, and my girl Jasmine Nix, scrumptious, they're there. 4-minute garbage fest. JC hits a cannonball for a near fall, grabs a basic 1905 chin lock to keep Carmen down. That gets broken up, and then, I don't know why he did this. Ashanti throws in a chair, which cuts the referee had to get the evidence out. Both women get back up. JC catches Carmen with a discus forearm. Bam, damn. Bam and damn. 1, 2, 3, JC gets the win. I mean, what were you thinking there, Ashanti? And then we see later Ashanti and Carmen arguing up a storm. I'm like, really, Carmen, get rid of that guy. He's no good. I mean, you want a real man. Call me up sometime. We get that. Yeah, so we got that. Hang and Tag are annoyed that they lost to Inamura and Briggs. So then, Wesley, Tariq Igwe, and Tyson DuPont, who have been pretty much mocking them over the past few weeks, continue to mock them. They've been bouncing back between NXT and TNA, and then dealing with the Rascals and East Austin and a whole bunch of other people in TNA. I mean, these 5 guys can't get enough of each other. We got that. Alright, then we go to actually something kind of decent, which is Ricky Stark's one-on-one debut against Ridge Holland. Good match, 12.5 minutes. Ricky Starks remains undefeated with Rochambeau. Even though he didn't run, he kind of just picked up Ridge. Boom! Rochambeau, 1, 2, 3. He gets the win to stay undefeated. So we get that. Good match, what it was, but I think we're on the road to Ricky Starks versus Shawn Spears for the men's North American title at Stun and Deliver. So we'll see what happens with that. And then Dark State talks about how they weren't given a chance. Now it's time for them to do something about it. Now then they find out. They tell us their name is Dark State, and they mean business. At least Dark State is better than Deuces and Jokers. You know, it is what it is. Or Retribution 2.0, which basically they are. But we get that. Then we're going to run down to next week's card with Stephanie Ricoeur defending both belts. We get that. Like I said, Ricky talks about his win. He's ready for Stand and Deliver, but Shawn Spears and the Culling interrupt. They start trash talking. Ricky makes it clear to Izzy Dame that he measures up in all the right places. Ho ho! Braun Breaker, you might, just want to check your girl. You might, I'm saying. If Ricky, again, is all right in the right places, I don't know about you. So, you might want to, slip in a, little session with, your girl, Izzy Dame. But, anyway, we got that. And then he stares at Shawn Spears, and then, him and his Culling leave, and that's that. Alright, then we go to the main event. NXT Underground, no ropes, only win by knockout or submission. This was violent. It was crazy. They didn't even last that long, which is insane. Under 4 minutes, and Trick Willie basically won because he beat the fuck out of DJ Nitro. Boom, 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 ground and pound, boom, boom, boom. Bye. Referee's like, that's it, we're done. This was a waste. They could have done it in a cage. It would have been better. Instead of having it in a meaningless MMA fight, where Trick Willie would have won easily anyway. So Trick Willie gets the win. And I think that ends the show. Let's check my quick notes for a little bit. Yes. Alright, so that ends the show. So, not a bad episode of NXT. 6.5 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys think of the show down below in the comments section, and we'll talk about it. Like Trick Willie would say, we're going to talk about it later on. And that's that. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later tonight for my SmackDown review back on my main channel, KillDemon669. But for now, I'm about to rock out with my cock out, and I'm going to enjoy what, by the time, like I said, by the time you see this, I'm about ready to listen to some heavy metal and get ready for Disturbed to kick some ass at the Garden. So, that's all I gotta say about that. So, I'm gonna enjoy my Friday night, and I hope everybody else does as well, because I know you're gonna be thinking about me all night. I'm not gonna be thinking about you, so you can go fuck yourself. So, that's all that. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later, and then all through the weekend, we'll talk about Collision, we'll talk about TNA Ring of Honor tomorrow, and then maybe a couple videos if I have time during the weekend. Because my schedule is breaking up a little bit this going into next week, so I will be doing more videos back on the normal schedule for next week, and going into, well, just for next week. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, let's get down with the sickness. Peace.